So once again, a very good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all our attendees joining us today. So on behalf of the Arch College of Design and Business, I am Megha Jain, moderators for today's session. At Arch, we are celebrating our 25 years of design education, rooted in innovation, entrepreneurship, and community impact. With a growing network of 7,500 alumni, we continue to shape the future of design education and creative leadership across India. So, our track for this week under the Design Culture Learning series is Society 5.0, where how design empowers people, communities, and ecosystem. So, our today's speaker is a very special person, and she's doing exactly what the track focuses on. Uma Prajapati, ma'am. She's the founder of a conscious fashion brand, Upasana. Welcome, Uma, ma'am, for our today's session. A fashion
Thank
designer, a fashion designer, a TEDx speaker, and a social entrepreneur. She's the founder of Upasana, a conscious fashion brand based in Orville. Over 25 years, she has redefined sustainable design not just as a practice but as a way of life. Her work focuses on empowering rural women, building community through design, and using fashion as a force for social good. She's the creator of Project Tsunamika, an iconic resilience ecology project supporting fisherwomen post tsunami, now recognized under the United Nations Clean Ocean Mission. A practitioner of integral yoga of the mother and Sri Aurobindo, and a radical transformation leadership facilitator. She is an expressive art practitioner. Her projects reflect spiritual strength, design activism, and deep commitment to the grassroots changes. In 2024, she was honored with the Devi Award and the ELS Sustainable Fashion Award, acknowledging her leadership role in the sustainable fashion movement. Our today's session and the topic for the session with ma'am is Tsunamika Design Revolution for Societal Well-being. So I'll pass on the stage to ma'am and let's dive into this meaningful dialogue on design, society, and soulful enterprise. So please join me in welcoming Uma Prajapati ma'am for today's session. Over to you, ma'am.
you, everybody. Good morning, all of the young budding designer of India, and thank you, Art as institution. Thank you, Mega. Thank you all as a creative community who are hosting this today. So my name is Uma, and I live in Auroville in South India. It is an international township dedicated to spirituality and human unity. And I graduated as a fashion designer, living in the community for last 29 years. This inquiry about design change. People inquire, we all inquire, right? We all inquire, we ask question, we do reflection, and I was questioning how far a fashion design can go, how far the notion of design can go. So in India, design means make something beautiful, so it becomes very elite. Then it goes to the community who can afford it. So design primarily at the service of the elite of the society is also expensive. So that is what has been understood, and I was trying to dive deep into this, that what more can design be? I didn't have an answer to it, but I went on inquiring, living in Auroville, the forest of Auroville, and Upasana as a design studio was already there. I had already created, we were making clothes using Indian textile and inquiring about how deep design can go. During all of that reflection in 2004, there was tsunami, and that hit the coastline community of India. And without knowing, like everybody else, I was in the village as well, trying to do something. Or even first two, I was just being curious, what happened? Because none of us knew what happened. None of us knew that within few minutes, thousands of lives were just made silent. Ocean has come in and ocean has taken whatever was available at the shore, and that was tsunami. So when I barely reached the village of fishermen community, I was stopped by different camp who were trying to help them out. So there was a rehabilitation camp already set it up. And I ended up being Auroville Rehabilitation Camp in the village Kuilapalayam near the ocean. What I saw was, it just shook me. I still was not conscious of what design could do over there. And while I walked into this camp and said, what can I do? Like any of you would do, right? That you go into a situation and it overwhelms you, your heart breaks open, and we say, what can I do? Can I do something? Can I volunteer? Can I help? And I asked the same question to organizer, and they said, if you take care of the children, the parents can concentrate in thinking what life could be. So my job was to take care of the children. So I went and took care of her children, made a group of 7 and made many groups, a circle of 7, and the many circles were sitting, and we started making dolls. The doll was a very handy little thing which children were sitting and trying to learn to make doll. And this was a doll as big as this. And that's what I'm wearing as a brooch on myself, that being a proud mother of this doll, and this doll appeared. Now, fishermen community women were looking around saying, what is these kids are all about? They are not nagging and asking for food and crying for attention and all of that. They're suddenly very, very occupied. And this doll was, we all were trying to make this doll, you see, and there's a little safety pin around. But that time, even the safety pin was not there. So there is just a doll, and everybody's getting into kutu kutu. And fashion waste, studios, fashion waste was brought into, any smallest fabric was brought into that group, and we had one scissor and one needle, and everybody else is, but there's a very little stitching involved into this, so it is all hand done, but least of intricacy of workmanship. So when this doll began, the fisherman community was, women was interested, and I did not know that there was a birth of Tsunamika, and then 600 women are going to make this doll as their livelihood, and it's going to last for 20 plus year and more, and it will be in the UNESCO, you will be in UN page, it will become an India entry or so many large platform. I had no idea. I was just making this doll to make children occupied. So that had been the birth of Tsunamika as a context. Later, when Tsunamika has grown into becoming an identity, the camp where all the story began, that moved back to the village, and all the children who made this little doll, nobody wanted to give. They were all tsunami victims. They are all the people who survived tsunami. That's where the story had been, that the tsunami are facing the ocean, and this is the same little doll. So personified, if you personified this doll into life, that's the way she looked. Thank you for doing this, Megha. So am I pronouncing your name correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Megha.
okay. So this little doll standing facing the ocean, and that has been her birthplace. And this story went very, very fast. So what is happening in this story? That there has been an arrival of someone called Tsunamika, and that's Tsunamika is in front of you. Ocean is her context, and tsunami was her arrival. When all the world, tsunami has been, maybe many of you were not even born when this incident took place. It took place in 2004. The coastline of India and Thailand, Sri Lanka, this part of Asia's coastline was very brutally affected. So it was a huge earthquake which swept the kilometers of land across the coastline, and thousands of people died. The story of Tsunamika, what we did was that narrated it in her book, that she has come looking for her friend. And this is a girl coming to the land looking for the friend. Go back to the next slide, Megha. So that's the story. Tsunami hit. Upasana came forward to do trauma counseling. What is that? When so many people have been so badly traumatized, there was so much death, there was so much disruption, that only thing felt reasonable was to do trauma counseling, hold their hand while they cry, hold their hand while they are totally finished in life. The children have died, families have died, some of them, everybody died. So this was the context with fishermen community Tsunamika was born. And we took many, many ladies in front of Auroville. We took 7 villages, 600 ladies. Slide, please. Next slide. So 600 women. And then we begin to train them in the studio. So they're sitting in the studio of Upasana and learning to make this doll, which already has happened in their village. When the birth of Tsunamika has happened, it was tsunami by itself. And when we say today tsunami, what we mean is this earthquake in the ocean with a huge wave of overwhelming wave of encroaching. So when we say there's emotional tsunami and tsunami of this and tsunami of that, arrival of Tsunamika itself was a tsunami. Today, this fisherman community has transformed the fashion waste into more than 5 million tiny doll, and it has gone to more than 90 country and plus. We stopped counting now. She became a symbol of hope. We didn't decide that. We didn't decide that she is a symbol of hope. She became symbol of hope as people saw it. We were giving this doll to somebody in Europe, and I just handed over a bag full of dolls. So whoever will meet me, especially if they are from this education background, we used to send this doll in hundreds. We'll put them into the bag and just give it to people for distribution and sharing. And it was, some of them would hold her and the heart and just close the eyes and saying, what a beautiful way to say that somebody is alive and her fingers are working and they can create a this is sweet, cute dog. When that dimension came into us as a project team, we were awestruck. We did not know what to move forward, what to do with this doll. So we chose a gift economy. We decided that we're going to share the doll and not sell it. So last 20 years, doll has been given to people as just an offering, and project created a new record that it has a case study put into Oxford. It has many international reach. We have volunteers in different countries managing Tsunamika projects and communicating about it, and so on and so forth. What has happened over the period, and just as a design studio students, I want you to just keep focus and keep looking at it as a design and communication point of view. What is happening here? There's a small piece of fabric. That small piece of fabric you will find in your studio lot. It's everywhere in India, in fashion studios or any companies. This small piece of cloth is everywhere. So what I'm trying to tell you, or what I'm demonstrating over here, is to keep that angle of design and what is the context and what material is getting used and what story is getting created. So this narrative, which is very community centered, it has a very strong story of inspiration, which we all seek, and it has a very strong process of distribution and is community led. So multiple function is happening, and suddenly this whole inquiry of me that can design be something more than what I think it can, that opened up, the door opened up. I begin to see design was not as a servant or doormat of the elite community, but it was a path breaker and life changer for the grassroots community as well. They did not know that they can hire a designer and they can create things like that. I didn't know that I had a capacity to create something which will impact grassroots communities' life. There are trauma counseling and there are gender equality, there are post destruction rehabilitation, and so many things, and ecology. So this conversation or got built upon in tiny little doll called Tsunamika. Today, Tsunamika has completed 20 years. In 20 years' time, imagine what changes has happened. She is a 20-year-old, young, beautiful presence, and we are calling her the ocean goddess. So we are really positioning her, saying she cares for ecology, she cares for water, and she truly cares. And you would be very surprised to see what your seniors at art had done in that context. The video was done to give this attribute an absolutely real presence. So, time for video, please. And thank you, Mega, for doing this. And thank you, whole community of art, to do such a brilliant work. And it got an award as well, right? I have been reading in media about it. It made me so proud, so proud. And Mega, please go ahead and add your version of detail, which I'm missing it here. A little bit more sound, yeah. Beautiful. It makes me even grateful now that I see it, and I've seen it so many times. So this positioning of the such a catastrophe of ecology under the ocean and around, and that got depicted by this demon, and the demon surrendering to this goddess who is standing for ocean and ecology as a goddess. And this metaphoric meaning and what animation students have done for for Tsunamika is phenomenal. So that's where we stand today. Water is the next big theme for the war, for the peace, for ecology. From any angle we see, water is the theme. UN has been running a special satellite activities based on water, especially ocean. And Tsunamika became the India entry for clean ocean under UN during COVID. That was the same time this work of students have come. Next phase of Tsunamika is India contributing to communication and design. Our next leaf where language for new society is coded inside. We all care about ecology. We don't know how to go about it. Just imagine the piece of textile in your studio has a power to hold a narrative which can stand for ocean, can go on UN page as your country's representation. Isn't it massive? The power of this small material, what is happening behind this is the design. The design, we create future, design the way we create narrative, design which fuels a new way of visioning future and inspiring young generation to take that lead. So that is in our disposal to go ahead and make a use of design. So Megha, the slide number 5, if you start, I'll tell the story of this ecology. Her journey of becoming an ocean goddess was how it was actually perceived by the local community itself. When Pondicherry Science and Technology Department asked us to come together on that. Here is this. 10 feet tall Tsunamika is barely 5 centimeter in her real life. Here you see Tsunamika, which is 10 feet tall. And she couldn't fit anywhere. So we had to, of course, put her on the truck. And we went into a called the coastline yatra. And the yatra began at the Pondicherry Promenade Beach. And the next slide, you see that it is actually riding into the public place. We had a traffic issue. We had to bring a lot of police and so on to support and guide. So you are in the peak of Pondicherry, center part of the promenade beach. The left side is ocean and the right side is, just stay with that page, and beautiful French part of Pondicherry, that the birthplace of Tsunamika. And Tsunamika is going on her coastal yatra, as we said. So she's on the yatra journey and we all were behind her. And then she reaches on the way, she goes to all the villages and then she reaches into the schools on the way. So you see how she is communicating to the school. And next slide, please. So we are in the school. Tsunamika has reached, the truck is at the gate and the team of artists are performing theater on ocean. And she has, the storyline goes on, the Tsunamika has got invited Santa Claus to come and join her in her journey, and Santa received. Santa only appears in the Christmas time, but the invitation of Tsunamika, he appeared middle of summertime in India, full dressed up in her journey to support on ocean. And you see them on the stage together. Tsunamika has managed to cajole Santa Claus and he has come and joined, and they are on the stage running the theme of clean ocean. Here we go, narrative full on. And it's so powerful, isn't it? Once this journey begins, Tsunamika comes to her birthplace. Next slide, please. And children have been writing messages on her. That the 10 feet tall Tsunamika has become a public installment. And over here, people are flocking, children are writing messages, and fishermen community has come back. They have, next slide, please. They are looking at their own work, what they have done. So they have depicted Tsunamika's story on a small strips bag, and the bags are all for display. So they are just admiring and saying, yeah, this is what I did, and that was my story. And it's all about story of ecology. So what's happening over there where the art community and expression is meeting with ecology? And you see Upasana is holding the banner of that. And the same that journey school children continue to be, and school, all of them, thousands of these children carrying one Tsunamika as a batch of them. By the way, you can ask for it, and Tsunamika will be happy to reach your campus and be with you when you come back to class. So move on to the next, where ocean and campaign building is going on. They're writing their aspiration, they are signing up what they want to do, how they would like to contribute, and going on with it. Next, please. So it was a big event for Tsunamika meeting her friends. That was the event. Was they, next please. There is a big art piece they created. So the special fabric was woven organic cotton, big. It became a sari actually. So this everybody painted, and then it went for a fashion show, and it was quite sweet. You see, Tsunamika is everywhere. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of tiny Tsunamika. There's a lot of writing about how children loved her. Next. So this is a celebration continues. Slowly you can go to all the 4-5 slides now. This is happening Auroville, so a lot of different nationalities participating. Keep moving. Tsunamika. So we had theater again where Tsunamika and Santa Claus, he didn't leave her. He was with her, and look at the audience here. So there is the ocean, conversation around ocean, building a love story around ocean with Tsunamika has become her mission now. This one, the Priya Muthukumar, the great storyteller from South India, is telling of Tsunamika story to the audience in her impeccable expression. She is just brilliant. She loves Tsunamika. And like that, Tsunamika has many more friends, great personalities, completely in adoration with this character, which is such a tiny piece of textile and actually has nothing but has so much. Audience are absolutely captivating with Tsunamika and Santa Claus. And they go on next. They go on just charming them. And she is asking, and Santa is promising, and they are saying, we are on. I'm done with giving a gift on the Christmas time. I'm going to come and help you to clean ecology. I'm with you. And that's what it goes on. Next. Look at the puppet. And the girls, their mothers have made this Tsunamika puppet, and the children are running to install it. Isn't it amazing to see? It's just so fantastic it was. So go next. There is Tsunamika mothers are teaching young children to make their own Tsunamika. So there's thousands and thousands, and now in millions of this Tsunamika is going on. And very fresh, and trying to make a little doll and figuring it out somehow, holding needle and making expression of her. Very engaging, very engaging. And for everybody, if you see the different color of the skin, different context, how involvement of. So what is goes on over here as a conversation, that building of the story, there is no end to it, right? You can actually go on building onto it. Look at that, here it is. She has made a puppet, and she's so proud. Fisherman community, one of the girl, now she has grown up rather, one of the girl, and have made a puppet, and she's so proud. That's a stall of Tsunamika. And we did, it's getting like light is fading, it's little dark. We sent her on the balloon to fly in the sky in the night, and you will see that soon. That puppet is going to, everybody's carrying a Tsunamika. Everybody has a puppet of Tsunamika. And this will have a light, and that will be sent to fly, basically. Very powerful moment. And next is that, that's, now we go next and hold it there. Tsunamika and mother of Tsunamika. This in Bharat Text, which happened last year. We did a master class, and it was about conscious fashion, but it also about fashion building a new narrative, design crossing its boundary and reaching much greater realm than we can imagine it can do it. So how are we doing time-wise? Megha, we are good?
Yes, we are good. We are
Okay.
good here.
So I would, I have summed up of what is this iconic project has been last 20 years. First 10 years was very village and grassroots community and their empowerment and their trauma. Now it is empowering a larger community to build the ecology as a concern and giving, not build the ecology as a concern, but make ecology as part of our conversation. We generally, when we talk about ecology, we go planting tree, having less plastic on the road and so on. We don't go reaching to the ocean and say, why do our dump of our garbage in our water goes to ocean and our sewage it's let loose to ocean, and why do we do that? What happens to the life energy over there? Tsunamika is bringing that conversation on the table, and in a love story way. So her story is, she's a great strategist. She will come and say, "You're my friend, right? Will you let me go my home? My home is full of your garbage. Will you take your garbage back so I can go home?" How can you say no to her? How can you say no to her? And then it begins checking what's happening in the ocean, and it's phenomenal what's happening in the ocean today. It's not safe, it's not healthy. Whose responsibility will that be if it is not us? And what loving invitation Tsunamika is holding, saying, "You're my friend. Will you let me go home? My home is ocean, and my ocean is full of your garbage. Will you give my ocean back? Will you give my home back to me?" So design is stretching from taking a piece of textile from lying on the floor as a waste and stretching, creating a phenomena of ecology. And any stage we can participate, and that's where we are standing. So I'll stop over here and see what is the question answer, or anybody has any inquiry about it.
Sure. So I'm sure. So I would request our attendees to put in their questions in the Q&A section. Meanwhile, I definitely have a couple of questions which we shall start. So yeah, Tsunamika is the project which I also, when you were here with us in 2020, when we hosted Fashion Colloquia. So I'm like, I'm aware about the project by the time, and that's how I think that the students become part of it. And we did this film, which was a stop motion movie done by the communication design department and showcased in UN under your leadership. And even the film has got multiple awards at state level, also under film festivals and other parts as well. So that's how the project began. So, is there any other icon created as Tsunamika? Is there anything other than this also there?
So at Upasana, this has been our iconic project, and I have been I have been trying to study that if there are different icon has been created, at least a level of being a doll. And one of our film director friend, he asked me to go and watch this Barbie movie. He said, "Go and watch this Barbie movie. You seems to have created an icon. There is an icon which has been created by the industry. It has
Okay.
no meaning. It actually became a sex symbol and a new icon for modern women." I did. I was attentively watching that. It took 60 years to create an icon of a Barbie, and was for me was a case study. What it also made me think about, then I began to inquire about what was happening into the area of icon building right now. India is participating into. Earlier we had a Tintin, we had a
Yeah.
Tarzan, we had many other animation or icon was built, but it was not built by India. It was built by outside, and we were reading it in India. But we had our icon building was going on with Amar Chitrkatha as the whole series of the epic was of the center. We were reading them as an icon, but now we have a Chota Bheem, and some of the some of our icon building has happened in India, but nothing like such a powerful story. that it is, the context is that there is a destruction and death. Then it is so deeply rooted into the community who suffered that. Then it is, has a material is used is a waste of an industry, which is small piece of textile, and then building an icon and making her an ocean goddess. There is no parallel. I have been searching. I have people coming out, reaching out to me from the Brazil and Mexico and sending their doll to me saying they are the Tsunamika sister, and Tsunamika sister from this part of the world is so heartening that there is a presence of her rippling across the country, across the globe, and we get that messages where one parcel came from Japan for Tsunamika, and like that. So this community is rippling. It is something is happening.
Right.
Yeah, but it really has triggered me to study icon differently and different character buildings and how far the meaning can go.
Got it.
Thank you for the question, Megha.
I think it's a very powerful way of seeing how this icon has evolved, and today it's becoming like an ocean goddess. So, what was the idea of behind this? I mean, yes, it has come under tsunami, but calling it as an ocean goddess, what was your idea behind this?
So I in India, like 20 years back, we started doing Ganga worship. You remember that if you go to Banaras, anybody goes to Banaras or Haridwar or Rishikesh, there's a lot of worship happen. Aarti,
True.
Ganga Aarti, right?
True. True.
And
True.
over there, Guruji said, one of the masters said in Paramatmaniketan Guruji said that in India, if you want to talk about it, just put some meaning or spiritual meaning around it and everybody will follow. Otherwise, we are pretty deaf and dumb country. So I really, it struck me that meaning comes, who creates meaning? Where does the story of meaning comes in? If I care about ocean through Tsunamika, what would be the best way to hold that meaning and cement the meaning? So let's create a goddess. It's so Indian, it's so Asian.
True.
And
True.
India, especially that we have 2 million goddess, it will not hurt to create one. And it even that, and it's not that I will be sued to the court and so on, that how dare you create a goddess on top of it. So I really thought about it, and my spine kind of shiver saying, oh shit, is this going really too far? But and I was a little bit uncomfortable in my belly initially. But then idea is that if a goddess is dedicated to ecology and water, and that's the future theme, what is a harm? And why not? And why not? So slowly she just popped into acquiring the space of being an ocean goddess. And it still is a fiction, but it still is it's so modern. You can, there's no dogma. It is so it's a love story. So I find it, that's where the new icon building will indicate. It will be at the service for something, and Tsunamika is at the service of ecology and ocean.
Got it. So there's so many videos of Tsunamika on YouTube, especially the change maker that I am Tsunamika. What is how do you see this growing in next 20 years as an icon? How do you see that?
So when we created I Am Tsunamika series, and the children had to say that, I mean, your college did it fabulous. I have such a good video of coming from your campus where a person or student is saying it is in mother tongue, I am Tsunamika. It simply means that I own the vision, the changes which we are talking about in society and ecology and in our, what is dear to me. I'm the one who is a change maker. So personified, that you're not only looking at Tsunamika or character outside, you are the one. You are the one who will make the character. Are you ready for it? Will you sign up for owning your own conviction? And that video became quite viral. The mothers, grandmothers signed up and they were saying, I am Tsunamika in their mother tongue. It was just beautiful, just beautiful.
And so, if anyone has to volunteer for Tsunamika project, what's the way forward?
Simply write to Upasana, or Tsunamika has a website, tsunamika.org. Tsunamika Auroville, Google it, just drop a message. There's a lot of work and you're most welcome. Last year we did a big art installation and ocean festival. No, last year. We did that
Okay.
with the student as well. So the ocean theme and ocean festival as it has becoming a community by itself. So most welcome. Just drop a line.
Sure. So very well noted, and in fact, we'll circulate this information too. I have one or two questions more about your fashion brand and the other activities you're engaged in. So you know, in this today's age where fast fashion and digital consumerism is becoming very popular and more convincing for customers and brands, how do you, I mean, you have created a conscious fashion brand which is more into ethical fashion. So what challenges, what rejections, and what tough decisions you have to make to stay true?
So question is, what is the challenges Upasana as a conscious clothing brand
Right.
hold it today?
Oh, correct.
Good,
Interesting.
good. Finally, we can bring Upasana and the picture as well. So Upasana Auroville, we are in Auroville. You can see us on Insta as Upasana Auroville. Is a conscious clothing brand and it is also a campus where Tsunamika is born. It has been an inspiration for many design community and companies and young brands to look at fashion differently. So one of the big thing Upasana has contributed is that it's changed the way we look at fashion. Even the bigger company has looked at it differently and they study our work. Second thing has happened, the conscious fashion has become a trend today, and Upasana takes a credit of that. 20 years back, when we began talking about conscious fashion, sustainable design, and sustainable fashion, it was a bit bizarre. Like, why did she talk like that? What does it mean? But today, look at it. It just took 15, 17 years and it has become a main trend everywhere. People everywhere is a green fashion, eco fashion, conscious fashion as an idea. But in reality, what it is happening, is it happening 100%? No, it is not. But what the greatest news is that we all have accepted that this is mainstream. Even we do it or not, it is mainstream. And we take credit for that. It's huge that in lifetime, a very marginalized, very la la land idea can become a mainstream idea, and curriculum for design can change. When NIFT in 2011 changed the design curriculum and brought socially responsible design and conscious design, we were the case study. And that was, for me, was a great arrival point that your work can inspire the industry. Now, the question you're asking is, what is the challenges we are facing? It is not Upasana's challenge at all. It is our collective challenge, and has become more intense with AI, digital media, and very available, cheap, fast fashion, as you were saying, fast fashion.
Correct.
Now, fast fashion trend for me is the fast fashion is for poor people. And that is going to be a trend now, that a part of humanity who do not have access to wealth and resources have to use fast fashion. They can't do anything better. And it's so good that they have a fashion available to their doorstep, which is cheap. But that cheapness has price which is hidden, and we will not know that. So the conscious community who is looking at and asking question and want to contribute will go for conscious fashion, will invest into where your heritage and textile and craft and the design are paid for what it is worth, and not outsourced with the cheap material and cheap construction and cheap marketing, and cheap becomes the goddess. It's not ocean goddess, it's cheap goddess. And we all worship the cheap goddess because this is what the cheapness works for us. One day it will not work. It's already for, we are beginning to question and we are beginning to talk about conscious fashion so much, not because fast fashion is, we are beginning to sense that something is not okay. There is
Right.
overall we are moving for something better, right? We all want something better. Life has to be better, life has to be meaningful, life has to have some sense and depth, isn't it? And that alone will guide us to where we it will go. Thank you for asking it. Sorry, it was a very big answer.
No, no, no. In fact, you very well covered. In fact, my next question was about the use of AI or overproduction today, and so you really think that today ethics should be embedded into a design curriculum, because I think that's the way forward. That being ethical and responsible on what you create.
So it will become already part of it because we are moving in such a fast lifestyle
Hmm.
that mind is racing, right? Body
True.
is still pretty stool. It does not have the capacity to race and catch up. So there's a massive disconnect with the speed mind is racing and what body can do. And we are abusing ourselves, our system with bad food, stress, overacting, overspeeding. Everybody is overwhelmed. We don't want to talk about it. That's our choice.
Right.
So in that space, life will search for meaning, and life will and the ethic is maybe the facilitator of that meaning. The depth, whatever we do, we have a sense of depth into that. It will become a real call because we will not be able to cope up. We are not designed to cope up such a speed. It is designed for future humanity which is yet to come. We are the old humanity. There is still that what is Nokia 800. So our machines, or we begin to work on our body, our mind, and the soul, which can facilitate the speed of today. That needs a new body of preparation. So if I am aware of what I eat and how I live and how I take care of my body, the chances of getting into future in very compatible way is very high. If not, ethics and many other processes have to facilitate the journey before we go into hyper depression.
So, at what stage in your early career, because once you pass out from a design school or you do a design course, then there's a different kind of a mindset. So, but what stage in your life you got this inner voice that you have to work with the? I understand the Tsunamika project in 2004, which probably turned a lot of things into your life. But where did this reflection come, and how did you thought that the community, you need to engage with community to build these needs and aspiration? What changed, and when did it happen in your life?
Thank you for asking this question. So, I was in Delhi. I graduated from NIFT in 91, 94 batch, and I worked in Delhi, then came to Auroville and joined a community and begin here. Life changed. Like Auroville for me had been a great event of my life, and NIFT as a design education was also a great event of my life, being born in Bihar and Gaya and coming all the way to Delhi and catching up with things in a very different lifestyle. So what I've seen in my life, the things have been progressively moving forward. At same time, I was invested in myself and my reflection and my life journey, meditation and mindful living in a real term, and that begin to question and that begin to guide. So it began, let's say, Tsunamika became a big event of that reflection itself, that oh my god, when I was asking how far design can go, and is this design is all about making pretty things for rich people? That was my question, you see. And from there, where I ended up is working with the grassroots community, women, the craft community, teaching them a skill which is a very low, what they can, they're not artisans. So fishermen community, they're not artisans. So creating Tsunamika is such a beautiful object because I could only do beautiful, very simple thing. My people were not artisans. So what life has given to me and what was the context? Using design and the creative thinking as a skill, I dived into as a space of service, and that changed. That continues to change. I feel very comfortable in the space of service, and feel very comfortable in asking deeper questions. I keep inquiring where else, what else, and what else. And that's what has been my life.
A lot of design students aspire to create an impact, but they don't know where to begin. So, what's your advice for taking that first step towards meaningful design?
Beautiful, very powerful question. Thank you for asking. So, when we want to make impact, we want to make impact for ourselves, because it is me wanting to be someone, we wanted to be successful, me wanting to be rich, me, and myself. But basically, it comes from that space. That space can also change when you say, I want to make impact as a service. I want to make humanity as even better place. I want to make my society as an even better place. The power of service, when that comes into a mind space, suddenly the whole small talks of me, I, and myself drops. And what happens that the canvas increases, and activity, the perception, everything increases, and universe begin to play on a different tone with you. So inquire, where is this impact is coming from? Is it coming from me, I, and myself, or it is coming from the space of I am at your service and I want to serve? That's inquiry number one, and that can change life. Maybe we can close with that. This is a very, very powerful reflection.
Thank you so much. But there are one or two quick questions in the question box, which
More
I'll
question, okay.
yeah. Just few more. Okay, so it says, "Hello, ma'am. How do you see the connection between craft, community, and environmental activism?"
So, environment, craft, community, and environment of activism. So, there
Yeah.
is a three C's going to lead us: creativity, communication, and community. Now, the moment we talk about community, environment comes in. Without environment and ecology, life is abused. You cannot talk about community. So, when we have a craft, and then we have community and we have ecology, the moment I take community seriously, ecology is already in. And craft can become a facilitator of the journey of whatever you are inspiring to serve. If you're inspiring to serve the sector of women empowerment, or want to make somebody's life better and clean the society or clean water, in my case, Tsunamika is about ocean, depends. That becomes a facilitator. So holding this thread and holding this conversation within is very critical. Keep holding it. They are very silent movers and shakers. Take them seriously. Take yourself seriously.
This last thing is, what project are you working on currently for which you are excited to launch or showcase? Any new project you're working on?
I'm working on peace within.
Okay.
And it's not going to launch in a way we think project gets launched. It is a very deep journey of facilitating the peace within, peace in my thought, peace in my conversation, peace in my body, and letting watch my stress fall and body improves and me becoming more happy. That's my project. So I take my food very seriously. That has become my facilitator. So right now I'm to a special diet. I do my body training seriously, and I reflect and I work, and I realize that my work output has even increased in that journey. I'm much less stressed, and it's all going good. So that's a new project. We'll keep you posted how it goes. You can read my LinkedIn. Once in a while, I post over there what's happening.
Sure. I think we would love to be part of your journey and be inspired from the same. So thank you so much. And it was a very, very inspirational session going through your journey and how the whole transformation done through the project Tsunamika, the goddess Tsunamika. And I'm sure more and more students would like to join you for this. And today, you have shown us how fashion can serve as a spiritual, social, and ecological expression. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for your
Thank you.
time.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.